You main Android 18 and she is absolutely abhorrent neutral, so when I get stuck in the corner, it's tough to get out. Is there some tech for characters that don't have good mobility to get out of the corner easier? So I assume what you mean is like she doesn't have a move that really gets her out like that, right? Like if I were to super jump and escape in the corner, I'm not like out of the corner yet, but if I can get above the opponent, I could probably like fly over them, call my assist, and maybe get out of the situation that way. And yeah, you're right, she does lack that, but I think what you could kind of do instead, if you're able to kind of recognize a spot where you can jump, I like to super jump, and that gives me more flexibility with like how long I stay in the air. Sometimes I'll just float down, sometimes I'll double jump, sometimes I'll delay a super dash, and if you're really high up, you should be able to like air dash over and do the same kind of thing. Getting out of the corner like is kind of tough. There isn't really like a single way to do it. You know, obviously, like having a tool that rockets you out of the corner is nice to have, but I think a lot of people who have that focus on it too much, and they don't really think about blocking. They just want to find that one spot where they can jump up and do it. And I think that really might hinder your defense a little bit. I think if you really focus on improving your defense and waiting for a situation where you can actually like guarantee that you can challenge or that you can escape, like that's so much better. As an example, the first thing I would probably say is that like if you can tech a Dragon Rush or something, or like block a 6M, you know you can challenge in that situation. So like we have Clash 101, definitely check that video out to kind of get what I mean. But like if you block a 6M and someone's like mashing afterwards, like you guys are neutral and block, right? If you get good at this Clash situation, you're going to feel comfortable challenging. And this is a way you're going to be able to get out of the corner, because you're willing to challenge in this situation where you have it more figured out than the average person. Or some characters can't even really like stop you from like jumping, you know, like I try to super jump here and I still block, which is fine. But like, let's say someone's a little bit negative. Kid Buu does EX ball and tries to like challenge afterwards. Or like, there's this awkward situation afterwards where he does EX ball, and let's actually set the block. There's this awkward situation afterwards where he'll do like EX ball and then he'll like follow the button, or he'll follow the key blast or something. And I talk about this situation a lot, and it's like -2 frame, right? Like what's the frame date on this? It's 2. He's -2. Sometimes I will try to like call out the key blast with the super dash. It's like, yeah, you can 50-50, but like jump out. This is a perfect time for you to like micro dash under him. Like he's even just walking under him, right? Like you can just try to dash away, dash under him. You could just like jump away and then maneuver around. Like you presented with situations like this more often than you think. Because I think a lot of people think that, oh, because something isn't punishable, it's not a risk. Because someone can't be punished in a situation, it's so good. But they're losing something, right? They're losing guaranteed pressure in the situation. So whenever you can recognize a situation like that, like there is a reward here, even if you aren't hitting them specifically. You can escape because of this situation. You can go under, you can go over, whatever. And obviously, if your character has like a move that helps you get out, like it's easier in that situation too, but every character has options like that. How do I go about understanding character matchups? That's a really broad topic. I think as far as understanding character matchups goes, the most important thing is going to be to like first fight that character a little bit, and you're going to want to make a list of all the things that piss you off. You're going to want to go into that matchup, play against someone who can beat you up with that character, and then say like, man, I do not know how this thing works. I am so frustrated by insert thing here. So if I were to be fighting Piccolo, and it's like, man, every time he does that stupid level 3 knockdown, he does level 3 and he just like jumps at me, and it's like really annoying because I stand up. Like this situation where with his air grab, right? It's like, man, he just jumps at me and I stand up because I'm supposed to stand up when someone's in the air because I don't want to get hit overhead. And I just get grabbed. It's like, how the heck does this thing work, you know? How do I beat this? And I thought like maybe I should jump it, but it hits me when I jump. Maybe I could super dash it. I can't super dash it. How the hell do I beat this thing? And, you know, if that was something you were thinking while you were playing, like write that down. You're going to go into training mode afterwards and you're going to be like, oh, wait, I can duck it. I can just duck under it and I can whiff punish it, actually. A really good way to just improve in general, but also improve at matchups, is going to be to make a list of things that either you think you suck at in the matchup or tools you don't know how to deal with. Write them all down, and you're going to have to really think about like, well, what's an approach to let me not have to deal with that tool? Or what's an answer to deal with it when it does come up, right? So like we were talking about dealing with Z Broly's key blasts earlier, and I went into talking about how like, yes, sometimes we want a super dash to call it out, but like, well, If we think about it some more, wouldn't he just anti-air us, right? Like sometimes he's going to Ki Blast, sometimes he's going to wait to anti-air me. And it's like, I don't want to take that risk and be wrong. So we have to super dash very infrequently, do it just enough to show that we're going to do it and he should look for it, but not so much that it's a huge risk because we're doing it all the time. And then also sometimes be okay with blocking, sometimes reflect it, sometimes try to out prioritize it with like, if we happen to have a beam or something, or we have a move that's a Ki Blast, you know, a Ki Blast crush move, something that beats Ki Blasts, then let's also mix that in as well. And like by the time you're done really thinking about it and really like looking at it from a bunch of different angles, we're like, okay, well, we can super dash, we can block, we can reflect, we can out prioritize it, or we can do something that beats it specifically. And it's like now we have 5 different approaches here. And if we wrap them all into one little thing, now it's like, okay, I can deal with this a little better than before. Also understanding that a lot of this has to do with whether we're right or wrong. You're not going to beat it 100% of the time. Be okay with being wrong sometimes. But the approach you end up with is going to be better than what you had before. Then you're going to go play online some more. You're probably going to deal with that thing a little bit better than you did before. I mean, I just got to say, like, you're going to run into something else that's bugging you. Like, you might not instantly beat the player that you were losing to before because you found that one answer to that one thing. It might be a combination of 20 things that you're struggling with. And then you're just going to have to pick another one and figure that out afterwards. How do we punish Ultra Instinct Goku's 2H? And the answer is, I don't know. You can, technically punish it. I'm going to bring in regular Broly as a good example here. You can punish it, but there's no guaranteed punish to it. It's kind of like when you block most characters' 2Hs, there isn't a guaranteed punish even though those are punishable because they can cancel, right? So like Teen Gohan could cancel into legs. And if I wanted to try to punish him, like there might not even be a gap for me to do it anyway. In fact, there's no gap here. Or if like Super Saiyan Vegeta did this, he could do that, right? So if I blocked it, it's not like I can just get a punish. They have cancel options still. And if they have an assist, they can convert that into pressure. There's no guaranteed punish for 2H ever. Let's get that out of the way right now. But punishing it if they don't do something, where with other characters, like if Teen Gohan were to just run up and do 2H, I would definitely be able to just smack it, right? I would just be able to hit 2H and get a punish. And if he canceled into Super Dash or something, I'd hit the Super Dash. This still wouldn't work if he canceled properly. But yeah, I know a lot of people want to be able to punish the people who don't cancel properly. Ultra Instinct Goku is really hard because he is very difficult to punish in time. Like, you can't 2H because he goes away. You generally don't have enough time to like run up and actually like do much. Like, we can't like super dash to reach him in time. He doesn't really have much landing recovery, so it's very difficult. If you have an attack that hits far enough and high enough, fast enough, you should be able to. Like, Broly can like, I think Broly can H or something. Like M, maybe if he makes the second hit with. And I do not know. This is tough. Maybe H will work, not in time. Is Broly just so big that it's tough for him? Like, if you can make the second hit whiff, you should be able to M. And then probably combo into like 2H if you're fast. This is the kind of thing that would take practice. And I almost don't even think it's worth practicing because this situation doesn't happen in this exact way that often. Like, a lot of people don't cancel off their 2H. EX Lariat might work. You can try that. No, it's a little too slow. A little too slow. Yeah, a little too slow. Maybe Light Lariat. Not quite. It's so hard, right? But even though we can't, like, we struggle to punish it in the first place, if we find something that works, like this thing with M, right? If you find something like that with your character, he still has the option of just, like, canceling, right? And switching the situation. And now our answer doesn't work, right? Or it's at least different than it was. Right, so he has, like, he could even just like do command grab. Because he has so many options, it's just difficult. And he can delay when he like swaps into these options too. It's just going to be difficult because he has multiple different things he can do. He can choose when he times them, and he still has the opportunity to just have an assist available. So I think this idea that like you're going to punish it every time isn't going to happen. You're asking for Asia, and I already sent him to Coanger's video, but can you explain super jump installs for YouTuber audience? Yes. This is something I get questions for a lot. What do they mean by like super jump install? It basically just means like, do you mean like float mix up stuff, like floating, fast falling, or do you mean like specifically like super jumping into like a tiger knee move and then keeping options afterwards? In general, super jumping gives you more options than regular jumping. There's a few main changes. The first is that a regular jump doesn't turn around when you pass over someone. my M is still going the wrong way, even though I hit it after I passed them, right? So I'm like Trunks is just kicking the wrong way, which sucks. But if I super jump, I turn around the moment I pass over them. So that's a key difference. And this is important because when people, when you get like a weird hit that pops them up in the air and you're not quite sure how to convert it, let's maybe grab an assist that pops them pretty much straight upwards, like 16 assist. Sometimes you pass the opponent and it's like your attack just goes the wrong way. I'll see if I can make that happen here. Also, just to get the extra height, the super dash is really nice, or the super jump is really nice. Yeah, like right that. Like our attack is just kind of going the wrong way because we did a regular jump. But if we did a super jump, that'll never happen. If we were to somehow pass under him, our character will turn around the moment we get to the right side of them. So you're going to be really consistent with combos where you have to jump to pick up from an assist or something like that when you super jump, because it won't really matter what way you're facing, your character will always turn to face the right way, or 9 times out of 10 turn to face the right way. So that's the first thing. The second thing with super jump is that you can change your momentum with it. So as long as you hold up, if you look at the bottom left of the screen where my inputs are, you can see as long as I hold up, I kind of float, right? And if you hold down, you'll actually fall really quick. So you have the option to fast fall, and you have the option to float. And you can, in general, change your momentum. So as long as you're floating, you can change your momentum, and as long as you're fast falling, I believe you can as well. Although it's less obvious with fast fall because you're just landing so far. Like, I don't move very far forward doing that. But in general, floating is really nice here. And you can even do, like, it takes practice, and I'm doing this on Hitbox, so I know a lot of people are going to say I'm probably cheating or something, but if you can get used to instant air dashing, right, where you hit up forward, neutral forward, that's an instant air dash. But you can also super jump instant air dash. So we're going to hit tap down and then do an instant air dash. And now we are doing a super jump instant air dash. And the thing that's cool about this is you can do float mix up. So you can float to adjust your momentum. If I immediately hold back after the super jump float, I won't pass Ultra Instinct Goku in this situation. But if I hold forward or I don't change my direction, I will actually pass him. So this lets you do some pretty fun stuff. I think a really cool example of this would be with like Kid Buu assist. Or not Kid Buu assist, just with Kid Buu in general. So let's just set them to guard first only. Let's see if I can do this right. Haven't done this in a minute. So this is the general mix-up with Kid Buu, and he can do float mix-up here. Where, oh my god, I'm bad. Where we can slide over them with a super jump float, or we could do the same thing and kind of stay on the same side. This is a little bit tough for me to get consistently, but we can do that too. How do I know all this stuff? I've just been playing fighting games for a really long time. I keep up with it, I play a lot. I think the more you practice and the more you like get good at labbing, the more you want to get better that way. The faster you just pick stuff up, the better questions you ask, the faster you will improve and just come up with cool stuff. I actually posted this Kid Buu mix-up on Twitter like, I don't remember, like a year ago or something now. And I saw Bonbabon do it in the finals and I was like, yes, he did the thing! I'm glad people started doing it. So another really cool thing with the super jump float mix-up is, I'll see if I can do this with Vegeta here. Man, words are hard. So if we end with like level 3, a lot of characters can do this. You can do this off with like Team Gohan on the other team, Vegeta, Cell, you know. There's like a standard kind of amount of time that a level 3 knockdown is. You can do this kind of thing there. So I'm gonna super jump float and get like a really late overhead. Or in the same situation, instead, we could do super jump and at the last second we could fast fall into a low. And this isn't like a true 50-50 because I think it's like reasonable to like kind of tell what's happening. But this actually works for me really, really well. And you definitely can meaty with this too. In general, a really nice thing about super jumping and floating is that you can mess with your momentum and stay in the air long enough to do stuff like avoid a beam. So if the opponent wanted to just not deal with my beam at all, I could like toss it and they floated over the entire thing. And they had the option of floating forward or floating backwards or whatever. So it's very difficult for me to tell where they're gonna be, and it makes me just tossing a beam out neutral a little less cheap. If you have a question that you would like to have answered in a future video, I will be taking some questions from right here on YouTube. However, if you want to have the best chance of having it answered right then and there, I highly recommend heading over to my Twitch and following me over there to see when I go live. There's more videos on the way soon. Thanks for watching.